Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Well, it's happened. Israel hits Iran with limited strikes despite White House's reported opposition. And you'll hear the doublespeak from the Biden administration later in this article. The Biden administration has maintained its commitment to Israel is ironclad. Yeah, that's why he had his surrogate, the U.S. Senate leader, Chuck Schumer, from my state of New York, embarrassingly enough, called for the ouster of Netanyahu a couple of weeks ago. A foreign ally has been attacked and over 1,000 of its citizens butchered and killed. And then the U.S. Senator asked for the prime minister of that country in the middle of a conflict to be put a step down or pushed out. Yeah, okay. Let's read on. Despite the White House voicing it would not take part in any retaliatory attack against Iran by Israel, the Jewish state issued limited strikes Friday. Fox News Digital has confirmed there have been explosions in Isfahan province, where Natanz is located, though it's not clear whether it has been hit. Natanz, if that's the way it's pronounced, is where a lot of the nuclear facilities for Iran are. Remember something, Israel has nukes. Iran doesn't. And don't think for a second, as the Iranians get closer and closer to nuclear-grade plutonium for weapons, that the intelligence service Mossad will know, and they will take those facilities out. Make no mistake. The Iranians will send nukes into Israel if they get nukes. Period. A well-placed military source has told Fox that the strike was limited. Yes, they don't want to kill innocent civilians. They never have. Unbeknownst to many Congress members and millions of Americans protesting after over 1,000 of your people were butchered. I can't even go into details of how they died because this website won't allow that kind of talk. That's how horrendous it is. They want them to cease fire? I don't think so. The news came after President Biden warned Prime Minister Netanyahu that the U.S. would not take part in a counteroffensive against Iran. We never would anyway. That directly. Biden reportedly told Netanyahu the U.S. wouldn't support any retaliatory attack, according to Axios. Fox News Digital reached out to the White House for comment. And I'll bet you got this. Let me guess. Let me get my sound effects here. The White House responded with crickets. John Kirby, the White House top national security spokesman, who lies repeatedly all the time, told ABC's This Week program on Sunday, April 14th, that the U.S. will continue to help Israel defend itself, but does not want war with Iran. Kirby said our commitment is ironclad to defending Israel and to help Israel defend itself, after being asked if the U.S. would support retaliation. Here's the political part of it. And it shouldn't matter for the survival of Israel, but unfortunately it does. This is a presidential election year, and the base of the Democrat Party are progressive leftists, the ones that are out in the streets of the major cities by the thousands and on college campuses protesting Israel. Pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas. Let's tell the truth here. And that is the Democrats' base. That is the base of their party. And he has to appease them because he's losing them by the hundreds of thousands because he won't directly condemn Israel after they were attacked and thousands of their citizens were butchered. And there's Kirby there. Kirby doubled down on the fact that Biden does not seek war with Iran. Do you think Iran gives I'm past the 50-second mark, so I can talk say what I want. Do you think Iran gives a shit what Biden says? Do you really think that? Of course, when they lifted all the sanctions, and his buddy Obama, remember he sent pallets of cash, over $1 billion in assets released? Where do you think they got the money for all their weapons and their nuclear program? Duh. As the president said many times, we don't seek a wider war in the region. We don't seek a war with Iran. I think I will leave it at that, Kirby said. Wow, what a amazing statement. Unbelievable. We don't seek escalated tensions in the region. We don't want a wider conflict. Yeah, we got the idea. You said it 4 times. Pentagon Press Secretary Major General Pat Ryder echoes Kirby's sentiments, of course, because they all got the 3x5 card, sharing in the press briefing the U.S. does not want to see a wider regional war. As I've highlighted, we do not seek escalation in the region. We will not hesitate to defend Israel and protect our personnel, he said during the question and answer segment. Yeah, of course, nobody expected American troops to go with Israel and raid Iran or have the U.S. send missiles in Iran. Nobody expected that. But he has to appease the non-progressive Democrats, who he's losing, and at the same time appease the progressive Democrats who hate Israel. Good luck with that, Joe. I learned that when I was a councilman in upstate New York. The way it works is, especially on an issue that's very contemptuous, if you don't pick a side on an issue, the public will pick it for you. And it's very rarely the side you would have chosen. Again, we do not want to see a wider regional war, he added. Yeah, no shit. He told us that 6 times. We don't seek conflict with Iran. We won't hesitate to take the necessary actions to protect our forces. Reports of Israel limited strike again against Iran came following a retaliatory strike over the weekend. Iran attacked Israel over the weekend in retaliation for Israel's deadly strike at Iran's consulate in Syria, which isn't really accurate. It's the building next to the Iranian consulate in Syria that was a military headquarters, and many high-ranking Iranian military members were there. So they didn't hit the consulate. The consulate in Syria earlier this month that killed a dozen people, including a top general. The weekend attack by Iran marked a major escalation of violence. First time ever that Iran is attacked, not through a proxy or indirectly, but launched missiles and drones from its soil against Israel. First time. Despite decades of hostilities between the two nations, Iran has never directly attacked Israel, instead of relying on proxy forces in Iraq, Lebanon, and elsewhere. That's what I thought they would do. There must be something going on in Iranian politics to the people that are really running Iran. The Ayatollah or whatever religious leaders and generals and who knows what else, that Iran had to do it from their own soil to appease their hardliners. And of course, I believe 2 or 3 missiles got through, causing minor damage at best and injuring one young girl. Not seriously, thank God, she'll recover. And that's it for 300 missiles. That's pretty much sucks as far as effectiveness goes, and that's a good thing. I'm not criticizing it, but so maybe there's something going on in Iran behind the scenes we don't know about, where the hardliners are running the show there. It's amazing to me. And here we are in the United States, our great foreign relations president, Joe Biden, is trying to appease his progressive base by saying Israel should cease fire and do all kinds of conciliatory stuff. And at the same time, says we don't want war with Iran, probably to appease some of the progressives as well, but the more moderates and independents that he needs to pull off the election in November. So he gets to play both sides of the street. Amazing to me. Like I said, if you don't pick a side, people will choose one for you, and it's very rarely the side you would have chosen. So Israel hit back, and that's no big surprise. It was kind of slick how they did it. I believe it's a Muslim holiday through the 30th of April, is my understanding. And Israel basically hinted the fact that they wouldn't retaliate till after the holiday was over, after April 30th. So I give them kudos for kind of, I shouldn't say lie, but manipulate Iranians' public's thinking. Now, Iran television and radio said there were no such bombings. But There's people with cell phones. There's people that can transmit videos, and we're probably going to see some tomorrow or later today. But anyway, Israel has struck Iran. And the White House, of course, didn't like it. Didn't like the fact that they did tell the U.S. ahead of time, though, they were going to do it, probably more out of courtesy than anything else. So they weren't caught flat-footed. I'll give them that. But I'm telling you, the Israelis are serious people. They're not perfect by any means, but they're definitely a positive for the area, the only democracy in the region. And now, from what I understand, from the missiles fired from Iran and drones, even Saudi Arabia took part in taking them down. So there's a big political shift going on in the Middle East. I think, frankly, now I'm a Trump supporter, so maybe my view is skewed, but I don't think what I'm going to say now is inaccurate. I think the Abraham Accords did a lot of good. Any other president of the United States would have got a Nobel Peace Prize, except for Donald Trump, of course. And I think the Abraham Accords brought countries together. And I think Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and some other countries saw the fact that the Iranians now are just out of control, hostile individuals. And they're actually protecting Israel, not because they love Israel, because they don't want the escalation in the Middle East. It does any good for anyone, including the Iranians. Economic prosperity will get rid of dictatorial governments. Believe me, it does. When the people start seeing they can live decent, just like Israel is one of the economic miracles in the Middle East. So we're going to see what happens after this. My guess is Iran won't hit back again. Another tit for tat. I doubt it. You might see some isolated terrorist attack by some individuals, maybe in Israel, maybe in Europe, hopefully not here in the U.S., I pray. But they may go back to their old tactics of using terrorist tactics by individuals, or start maybe some proxy conflicts with other countries that are limited in size and scope. But we're going to see. I think Iran appeased their hardliners and convinced their citizens that they have the upper hand, which didn't happen at all. But that's the way propaganda is. It's not the truth that you believe in. It's what they tell you the truth is. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.